She stood near gate 14, clutching a tattered blue backpack to her chest. The world around her was loud, families laughing, announcements echoing, but for her, it was all silent. Completely silent. The poor deaf girl's name was Elena, and this was her first flight alone. She had saved for months just to visit her dying mother across the country. But in a matter of seconds, everything went wrong. Someone had taken her bag, the only thing that carried her ticket, ID, and every dollar she had. She realized it when she reached for her phone and found nothing. Panic filled her chest, but no sound came out. No scream, no call for help, just silence in a sea of noise. She moved toward the nearest check-in counter, frantically pointing at her wrist, at the crowd, at her empty hands. The staff looked at her, puzzled, speaking words she couldn't hear. One of them waved her aside impatiently, misunderstanding her as another lost traveler. People brushed past without looking. Her lips trembled, tears forming as the noise of the world blurred into nothingness. Then, something small caught her eye. A paper, crumpled near her shoe. She wrote in trembling letters, "Help me. I can't hear. My bag is gone." She held it up, but nobody stopped. Nobody read it. Nobody cared. Until a tiny hand tugged at her sleeve. Elena turned. A little girl, maybe 7, stood there in a pink dress, her brown curls bouncing as she looked up curiously. She held the paper Elena had dropped. The girl's big green eyes darted from the note to Elena's face, confused but caring. Elena pressed her hand to her heart and then pointed toward the crowd. It was her way of saying, "Please." The little girl didn't know sign language, but she understood the look in Elena's eyes. Fear, hope, desperation. The girl glanced around and suddenly pointed toward a man in a dark jacket walking fast toward the exit. He was holding a blue backpack, Elena's backpack. Without thinking, the little girl ran. Her mother shouted after her, startled, but the child didn't stop. She dashed between passengers, pointing frantically. That man. He took her bag. Security guards noticed the commotion. One officer followed her finger, running toward the man. The thief tried to escape through the sliding doors, but he slipped on the polished floor, crashing into a trolley. Within moments, guards surrounded him. People began to gather, whispers spreading through the terminal. Elena watched from afar, her heart racing. When the officer lifted the blue backpack and waved it in her direction, she froze. For a second, she couldn't move. Then, tears filled her eyes as she pressed her palms together in gratitude. The little girl came running back, cheeks flushed, grinning proudly. Elena knelt down, tears streaming silently as she hugged the little girl tightly. She wanted to say thank you, but no words could carry what she felt. Instead, she used her hands. She signed slowly, hoping the child would understand. "You are my hero." The little girl didn't understand the words, but she saw the emotion in Elena's eyes. She smiled, whispering softly, "You're okay now." Her mother finally caught up, breathless and confused. "Sweetheart, what happened?" she asked. The girl looked up, pointing to Elena. She couldn't talk. Nobody helped her. "So I did." The woman's eyes softened as she turned to Elena, who held the backpack close again. She mouthed, "Thank you." But the deaf girl only smiled, because in her heart, she already knew that as the crowd dispersed, the three stood there under the golden light pouring through the glass ceiling. The world felt quiet for once, not because of Elena's silence, but because something deeper was being heard, that a connection beyond words. A kindness that didn't need sound. Elena waved as she walked toward her gate, looking back one last time. The little girl waved back, still holding her bunny toy, her smile bright as sunlight.